The movie starts with a badly burned agent trying to stop the world's deadliest bomber. But after surviving a devastating explosion, he is sent on one final mission that will completely change his understanding of reality. The protagonist receives news that an impending explosion will devastate New York, making the urgency of their mission to stop the fizzle bomber absolute. They undergo reconstructive surgery and are briefed on the risks and changes to their appearance, hinting at a long history of dangerous assignments. The order for decommissioning arrives, marking the end of their active duty. In a solemn ceremony, the protagonist swears allegiance to TBR Code 7286 and accepts the consequences of failing their final mission. Reflecting on their career, they acknowledge the unique nature of their work. The protagonist engages in a tense and uncomfortable conversation at the bar, where patrons discuss the fizzle bomber's threat. The patron challenges the protagonist to tell the best story they've ever heard, setting up an intriguing narrative that hints at the protagonist's troubled past as an unmarried mother who writes confession stories. The conversation shifts to a discussion about transgender individuals before the protagonist begins recounting her own childhood origins at the Cleveland orphanage on September 13, 1945, establishing a deeper connection to her personal history. At the Cleveland orphanage in 1945, Jane is one of many abandoned babies with no known past. As she grows up, she envies children with parents and grapples with confusion about her identity and why she was left behind. Despite these questions, Jane becomes tough and smart, excelling in math and physics while also learning to fight off bullies. Her unique experiences shape her resolve to provide a stable family for any child of hers someday, away from the orphanage's turmoil. Jane reflects on her difficult past, feeling isolated and unadoptable due to her perceived differences. She excels academically but faces challenges fitting in socially, leading her to develop resilience. Mr. Robertson approaches Jane with an opportunity from a progressive organization seeking young women with promise in math and science, along with physical prowess. Despite skepticism about the program's intentions, Jane sees it as a chance to prove herself beyond societal expectations. During the interview, she demonstrates academic excellence and emotional stability, distinguishing herself from other applicants. Jane undergoes rigorous training and testing for the Progressive Organizations program, distinguishing herself from other applicants with her academic excellence. During the extensive evaluations, which include physical fitness tests and psychological assessments, Jane remains resilient despite the challenging conditions. When asked about her mental health, Jane admits to feeling out of balance at times. When practicing combat training exercises, Jane faces hostility from other recruits, leading to a physical altercation where she must defend herself against Marcy's aggressive attack. The incident prompts a detailed medical examination. Jane faces the consequences of her altercation, leading to a medical examination that threatens her acceptance. Mr. Robertson promises to help her appeal, but Jane must rely on herself, taking up menial jobs like being a mother's helper. During this time, she meets a mysterious man who showers her with kindness and offers financial support, making her question everything she believed in as they fall deeply in love, despite the short-lived nature of their relationship. Jane reflects on her past relationship, realizing it was just a fling and not true love. Mr. Robertson reveals to Jane that he works for an organization using Space Corp as a recruitment agency for people with exceptional abilities. Jane learns she was pregnant from the mystery man, leading to her hospitalization where she undergoes a cesarean delivery of a healthy baby girl. During recovery, the doctor informs Jane about her unique internal anatomy that no previous doctors had mentioned, hinting at deeper secrets surrounding her true nature. Jane learns from her doctor that she has both female and male internal organs, an extremely rare condition. The excessive bleeding during childbirth necessitates a hysterectomy, removing her ovaries and uterus. This revelation forces Jane to undergo further surgeries to transition fully into a man. Despite the shock, Jane remains determined to move forward for the sake of her newborn daughter. 2 weeks later, Jane's baby is kidnapped from the hospital nursery by an unknown older man, shattering her hopes. In response, Jane files missing person reports but finds no leads, continuing her medical transition with testosterone injections. Jane practices speaking like a man but struggles, reflecting on her fear of seeing herself in the mirror, and the irony that she now resembles the man who ruined her life. Despite nurses complimenting her appearance, she feels far from normal, especially after learning she is fully fertile again, marking a new chapter in her transition journey as John. John grapples with his transition, feeling lost and questioning how to live as a man. He considers joining Space Corp as an astronaut but is rejected due to his background. Desperate for purpose, he changes his name and moves to New York, initially working as a fry cook before becoming a public stenographer, inspired by the success of a writer in confession magazines. John creates the unmarried mother, a persona that allows him to write from an authentic woman's perspective, giving him a sense of purpose and identity. John wins a bottle at a bar and is approached by an enigmatic stranger, the bartender, who claims to know where the man who ruined his life is hiding. The stranger offers to reveal his whereabouts if John agrees to do something unspecified in return, hinting at revenge against the man. Suspicious but intrigued, John reluctantly agrees after the stranger assures him he'll get away with it. The conversation reveals that the stranger knows details about John's past, including his name as a woman, Jane. As they continue talking, the stranger mentions working with Robertson on a secret project. The stranger reveals he possesses a time machine and demonstrates it to John, transporting him back to Cleveland in 1963. He explains he's a temporal agent tasked with preventing crimes before they happen, working under strict guidelines set by the Temporal Bureau. John learns that Robertson is also involved, but located at Bureau headquarters. The stranger warns of severe consequences for any deviation from their mission parameters, emphasizing the importance of blending in. John agrees to help the stranger kill the Fizzle bomber in exchange for his assistance in meeting the man who ruined his life. He learns about the time machine's capabilities and the strict guidelines set by the Temporal Bureau. John encounters a younger version of himself as Jane at Cleveland College, suddenly realizing that he himself is the mysterious man from Jane's past. The stranger's warning about the Fizzle bomber underscores the urgency and high stakes of John's actions. The stranger advises John about the disorienting effects of time travel and stresses the importance of adhering to mission protocols, reminding him not to exceed jump limits. Despite feeling nervous, he encourages him to stay focused on his objectives. Their conversation turns confrontational when John questions why he avoids meeting new people. The stranger then reveals his deep understanding of John's past, accurately guessing his thoughts about charm classes and his desire for love, exposing his vulnerability and inner conflicts. The stranger confronts John about his disbelief, exposing his desire for love and connection, sensing a deep familiarity between them. When John questions the legality of his actions, the stranger admits to making an illegal jump to capture the Fizzle bomber but failed, risking severe consequences from the Bureau. The stranger emphasizes the strict rules are for protection, but expresses frustration with bureaucratic constraints. He reassures John that his mission is crucial and unique, urging him to lay the seeds for future events. The stranger prepares John for his time travel mission to the past, emphasizing the importance of blending in and staying focused. He covers his eyes as he makes an illegal jump back almost 20 years, cautioning him about the physical toll. After leaving John to drop off Jane's stolen baby girl at the Cleveland orphanage, completing the cycle, he encounters Mr. Robertson, who maintains that some events are inevitable despite personal choices. The stranger reassures John that he's home and his troubles are over, emphasizing the importance of his upcoming mission to save millions of lives. He acknowledges past failures but credits John for making them better agents and growing their organization, as John prepares to forward jump 22 years into the future. The stranger warns him about decommissioning his field kit upon reaching his final destination as per regulation. John arrives at his home after leaving the orphanage, reflecting on the inevitability of his mission to save millions of lives despite past failures. He prepares for a forward jump 22 years into the future and is warned about decommissioning his field kit upon arrival due to regulations. During a conversation with a stranger who seems intrigued by John's sentimental attachment to an old typewriter, John reveals he writes confession stories involving passion, heartbreak, jealousy, and murder. The stranger warns of the physical toll time travel takes, including risks like psychosis and dementia. John confronts the Fizzle bomber, revealing his past as a time traveler who saved countless lives but now sees himself as a murderer. The Fizzle bomber shows clippings proving he prevented disasters and saved thousands of lives, though John accuses him of killing innocents. They argue about their methods and morality, with the Fizzle bomber insisting on continuing his violent approach to save more lives, while John vows never to become like him. Robertson's manipulation comes into focus as they realize he orchestrated their fates, setting them up to perpetuate a cycle of violence. The Fizzle Bomber urges John to choose love over violence, suggesting they can build a future together, and questioning if John would kill the man responsible for ruining his life to save thousands of others. He reveals that he loves the same woman as John, emphasizing their intertwined destinies and the tough choices they must make. The Fizzle Bomber asserts that influencing the past is inevitable, but remains uncertain about changing their futures, reaffirming his belief in John's importance to him. The Fizzle Bomber and John face off in an intense showdown where the past and future intertwine, revealing the paradoxical nature of their existence. The Fizzle Bomber urges John to choose love over violence, emphasizing that breaking the cycle is possible but uncertain. In a climactic and devastating moment, despite his vows, John gives in to his anger and shoots the Fizzle Bomber dead, unknowingly taking the final step to eventually become the bomber himself. In the most shocking twist, John realizes that every important person in his life, Jane, the mysterious lover, the temporal agent, and the Fizzle Bomber, was actually himself at different points in time. The film reveals that he is caught in an endless, unbreakable loop of love, loss, and self-creation, as he stares at his hands in complete isolation. The movie ends with the haunting reality that his actions have fulfilled his own inescapable destiny, concluding the narrative on a deeply dark note.